Right. Let's jump into a deep dive that really takes us high, like a 30,000-foot view of human potential. You know what I mean? We're looking at planetarycitizens.net.
Oh, interesting.
It's a website. Yeah, it's an organization.
Okay.
And they're all about helping all of us be better citizens of planet Earth.
Well, I think it's really fascinating how they're framing these challenges we're all facing these days. You know, climate change, all the social divisions, all of it.
Yeah.
As opportunities to evolve into
Right.
what they're calling a Type 1 civilization.
Type 1 civilization. Sounds like we're getting into some Star Trek stuff here.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Think of it as like a society that's completely unified, totally sustainable.
Okay.
And using like all the potential of our planet's resources. It's a big goal.
Yeah, it is.
But they think we can do it.
PlanetaryCitizens.net thinks we can get to this. It's Type 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, intrigued.
I'm listening. So they were founded way back in 2010, but they've had a resurgence lately. It seems like it anyway. Even became a nonprofit in December of 2023.
So what's driving this new interest?
Well, more and more people are realizing how interconnected we all are on this planet.
All right.
The website talks about like breaking down silos between countries, different generations.
Between different fields of knowledge.
Yeah, all of it. They think collaborating is like the key to solving all these global challenges.
They're really putting their money where their mouth is. They're building this diverse advisory board.
I saw that.
They're really looking for people from different backgrounds, women, younger generations.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, this isn't just for the elite. This is for everybody.
For everyone.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that message. And they're even saying that ancient prophecies,
Interesting.
prophecies from tons of cultures and traditions, all might be pointing towards this global shift in consciousness.
That is a pretty bold claim.
It is.
But it definitely makes you think.
It does.
Ugh.
What kind of prophecies are we talking?
Well, they're talking about calendars and cultures from all over the world. Could be anything, you know, Mayan calendar to the age of even biblical prophecy.
Wow.
It's like they're suggesting that we might be on the edge of like a major evolutionary jump as a species.
That was some pretty heady stuff.
Yeah.
But how do we actually get there? From where we are now to this Type 1 utopia?
Well, they talk about using technology,
Okay.
modern technology, to connect with people.
Yeah.
Spread the message.
That makes sense.
But it's not just about tech. You know, they talk about ancient wisdom
Okay.
and things like loving and being loved as like key ingredients.
Loving and being loved.
I know, it sounds kind of simple, right?
It does sound a little simple.
But they're talking about cultivating like genuine compassion, not just for ourselves, but for like everybody and everything on this planet.
So it's bigger than just signing a petition or giving money.
Way bigger. It's
Yeah.
like a total shift in how we see the world and each other.
Yeah.
And how we interact.
Okay, so that leads to a more harmonious and sustainable future for everyone.
That's what they think.
This is fascinating. It's still kind of abstract, though.
Yeah.
How do they turn these big ideas into things people can actually do?
Well, that's where the strategic plan comes in.
Okay.
It's like their roadmap for creating this Type 1 civilization.
Right.
And it's still in draft form.
So they're open to feedback and collaboration.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So from what I've seen, they're using something called the co-creation wheel to organize all this. What is that?
So it's like a model that divides human activity into 8 sectors.
Okay.
Like economics, governance, education, health, arts, even spirituality. It's the big picture.
Wow.
They say all these areas have to work together for a society to really thrive.
So it's not about looking at environmentalism
Right.
or social justice all by themselves?
It's about seeing how everything's connected.
Okay.
All these issues.
Gotcha. So they're encouraging people to go to whatever sector speaks to them.
Whatever they're passionate about. Yeah.
Whatever their skills are.
Ex-
All right, this is giving me a lot to think about. Where can our listeners go to learn more?
Head over to planetarycitizens.net. There's a ton of info there
Okay.
about the strategic plan, and they break down each part of the co-creation wheel.
Awesome. And of course, we're going to unpack all this in more detail
Yeah,
throughout this whole deep dive. We're just getting started.
buckle up. All right, so welcome back. We're still exploring planetarycitizens.net and their big vision for a Type 1 civilization.
Right. And you were saying earlier that they kind of mix modern technology with ancient wisdom.
Yeah.
How does that actually work in their strategic plan?
It's pretty cool. They're
Yeah.
using all this technology to connect people around the world, you know, get them talking,
Right.
and to spread their message.
Makes sense.
But at the same time, they're pulling ideas from all these old wisdom traditions,
Okay.
talking about love and compassion and interconnectedness.
So it's not like they're throwing out the old ways completely.
No, not at all. They see value in both.
I like
Yeah, and we see it in their co-creation wheel, which we were talking about before.
Great. Where are the 8 sectors of human activity?
Exactly. Like economics, governance, education, health, arts. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a pretty complete framework.
Yes.
And they say that each sector has its own challenges and opportunities.
That's true.
But the key is that they're not separate, you know?
They're all connected.
Yeah, they're all linked.
Give me an example. How would something like the arts and media sector connect to something like economics and commerce?
Well, think about using art and media to push sustainable business practices or inspire social change,
Okay.
or how economic policies can affect who gets access to arts education. It's all connected.
It is. I get it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to break down the walls between all these different areas.
Yeah.
See how they can all work together.
Exactly. A more holistic approach, they call it,
I like it.
to solving global challenges. And they think the co-creation wheel can really help us see how everything's connected.
Okay, so how do they actually put this into action? It's one thing to have a model, but how do they make a real difference?
Well, that's where the strategic plan comes in.
Okay.
It lays out all the actions and initiatives they want to take in each sector of the co-creation wheel.
Can we get a sneak peek at any of those actions?
Well, they're still tweaking the plan, but some things they've mentioned are creating online platforms for collaboration, hosting international conferences,
Okay.
developing new educational stuff,
Interesting.
even launching social media campaigns to spread awareness.
So they're trying to reach a lot of different people.
Yeah, everyone. They want everyone to find their place in this movement.
Yeah.
They say everyone has something to give, no matter how big or small.
That's nice. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all the problems in the world.
Yeah,
But this approach makes it seem like we can all do something.
exactly. And it's not always about money or petitions. They're talking about personal transformation, too.
Okay.
Like growing those inner qualities, like love and compassion. They think that can create a ripple effect and make a real difference.
So it's inner work and outer work.
Both. They're inseparable, they say. Can't have a truly good world without people who are good inside, too. You know?
I get it. So we've covered their vision, their plan, this co-creation wheel.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next step for someone who wants to join in?
They have a really simple message on their website. Sign the Planetary Citizen Pledge.
And what does that mean? What are they asking people to do?
It's basically a promise to live by these values of planetary citizenship, you know, compassion, responsibility, recognizing that we're all connected and working towards a more sustainable world.
So it's more about shifting your perspective
Yeah, aligning your values.
than it is about one specific action.
Exactly.
But what about those of us who are already on board with these ideas?
Well, they want you to dive deeper into the co-creation wheel and see which sector calls to you. Maybe you're passionate about education and you want to help create new ways of teaching, or maybe you love the environment and you want to get involved with conservation.
So find your place in this bigger movement.
Exactly.
This has been really interesting.
It is.
Inspiring, but also a little scary thinking about all the challenges we face.
For sure.
But it's good that people are talking about it and waking up to the need for change.
And that's what PlanetaryCitizens.net is all about. Starting that conversation, getting people connected, and showing a way forward.
So we've learned a lot about PlanetaryCitizens.net, but before we go, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Is this Type 1 civilization actually achievable? A world where we're all unified, living in harmony with nature?
That's the big question, isn't it?
It is.
Only time will tell, I guess.
Yeah.
But what's exciting is that we're having the conversation. People are starting to see that we're all connected and our actions affect everything.
And PlanetaryCitizens.net is giving us a framework and tools and a community for making positive change.
Exactly. It's about coming together, sharing ideas, and working together to build a better future.
Okay, so that's it for this part of our deep dive, but stick around because in part 3 we're going to shift gears and talk about what all this means for you and how you can be part of this unfolding story. Okay, so welcome back to the deep dive. We've been up so high, looking at the big picture of PlanetaryCitizens.net and their huge goal of guiding us to a Type 1 civilization.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back down to Earth now.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for each of us right here, right now?
It's easy to get lost in the big picture.
Yeah.
But change starts with us with individual action. PlanetaryCitizens.net gets this. And they want people to take that first step, sign the Planetary Citizen Pledge.
We talked about that before, but it's worth repeating. What exactly is this pledge? What's it asking people to do?
It's a personal commitment to these values of planetary citizenship.
Oh, that's right.
Compassion, responsibility, seeing how we're all connected, and working to make the world a better, more sustainable place.
So it's about changing your perspective.
Yeah, aligning yourself with the values.
More than it is about doing one specific thing.
Right.
Okay, but what about concrete actions? Where do those fit in?
That's where the co-creation wheel comes in. They want you to look at those 8 sectors.
Right.
Economics, governance, environment, health, all of them, and see where your passions and skills fit in.
So you could be an artist who uses their art to raise awareness about climate change, or an entrepreneur who builds a business that's good for the planet and society.
Yeah.
There's so many possibilities.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be some huge thing. Even little things make a difference.
Like what?
Like making your carbon footprint smaller, supporting local businesses, or just talking to people who have different opinions in a respectful way.
So being mindful of the impact we have on the world and knowing that every little thing adds up.
PlanetaryCitizens.net is offering a framework and tools and a community for people who want to create positive change. It's about empowerment, realizing that you as an individual have the power to make a difference.
This has been a really interesting deep dive. Inspiring, but also a little overwhelming, thinking about everything we need to do.
Yeah.
But it's good that people are talking about these things and realizing we need change.
And that's the point of PlanetaryCitizens.net, starting that conversation, bringing people together, and showing a way forward.
So to wrap up our exploration of PlanetaryCitizens.net, we encourage everyone to go to their website, check out the co-creation wheel, and maybe even take that Planetary Citizen pledge.
Yeah, the future is happening now, and we all have a role to play.
Keep diving deep, everyone, and stay curious. We'll see you on our next deep dive.